In 1961, Soviet Union cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space after launching from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. A few weeks later, the USA launched Alan Shepard aboard a Mercury Redstone rocket from Cape Canaveral. 8 years later, the Apollo 11 mission began with the launch of the Saturn V rocket on July 16, 1969, from the Kennedy Space Center. Three astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Edwin E. Aldrin Jr., inhabited the command module for 4 days before Neil Armstrong took the first famous steps on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Only 12 humans have ever had the opportunity to walk on the moon during the Apollo program. On December 14, 1972, the lunar lander of the Apollo 17 mission left the lunar surface and began its journey home following the last human spacewalk on the moon. After the end of the Apollo program, NASA focused its efforts on Skylab, the Space Shuttle, and the International Space Station. NASA's space exploration had stopped for almost 30 years while they focused on creating a sustainable presence in low Earth orbit. Meanwhile, in 2001, Elon Musk wanted to help NASA by increasing the public's interest in space exploration and boosting NASA's funding. He decided to try and launch a small greenhouse onto the surface of Mars to grow the farthest known life from Earth. Musk returned back empty-handed after visiting Russia to acquire abandoned space hardware for his mission. He realized that he could create a cheap and reusable rocket himself, drastically lowering the cost to launch payload. In 2002, Elon Musk founded Space Exploration Technologies, also known as SpaceX. 6 years later, SpaceX successfully launched their first rocket, the Falcon 1. After only 2 launches of the Falcon 1, the vehicle was retired to allow for the development of Falcon 9. After SpaceX's successful launches, it also pursued a contract of $278 million with NASA to resupply the International Space Station. This funding allowed for the rapid development of the Falcon 9 vehicle, which launched for the first time in June 2010. Elon Musk knew the next step for space exploration was rapid reusability. SpaceX began conducting tests with their Grasshopper vehicle to demonstrate vertical takeoff and landing. With every test, SpaceX went higher and higher than ever before. In December of 2013, SpaceX began testing re-entry and landing of the first stage in the ocean with almost zero velocity on real missions. On December 22, 2015, after many attempts and modifications, SpaceX successfully landed the first orbital-class rocket booster.
That is that first stage coming back down to land at Cape Canaveral. History in the making, guys.
Stage 1 is landed. LZ-1, the Falcon is landed. Landing operators moving to procedure 11.100, section 3 on LZ-1 VNet, recovery net. Repeat, the Falcon has landed.
This same booster was then reused and landed a year later. To date, 80 boosters have landed and been recovered. SpaceX has also been recovering the Falcon 9's fairings, the protective domes at the top of the rocket that protect the payload during launch. So far, they have recovered 17 fairings. Besides the Falcon 9, SpaceX also has many other current endeavors. SpaceX also has the Crew Dragon variant of the Falcon 9, which has already launched 10 astronauts to the International Space Station. Since the end of the Space Shuttle program in 2011, NASA had been relying on Russia to launch their astronauts on their Soyuz rocket until the SpaceX Falcon 9 Crew Dragon. When NASA awarded SpaceX the contract, they required rigorous testing of all systems, along with a test of the rocket support systems. The last launch of SpaceX's Falcon 9 Crew Dragon was on April 23, 2021. SpaceX has also developed their Falcon Heavy vehicle. During its first test flight, SpaceX ironically launched Elon Musk's personal Tesla Roadster into an orbit around the sun. The Falcon Heavy vehicle consists of a normal Falcon 9 with 2 additional boosters on its side. These boosters land themselves simultaneously at the launch pad, ready to be reused. SpaceX's most recent project has been Starship. Starship is the first fully reusable heavy lift vehicle with the prospect of landing humans on Mars in mind. To date, SpaceX has performed 4 flight tests of full-scale Starships. What makes Starship even more unique is the way it lands. During re-entry, the vehicle falls like a skydiver, with its large fins creating drag. This allows Starship to fall slowly and reduces the amount of fuel consumed at landing. Right before Starship hits the ground, it reignites its 3 Raptor engines, orients itself upright, and lands vertically. This incredible rocket has only landed once, during its SN-10 test flight. However, a few minutes after landing, SN-10 exploded on the pad due to its hard landing caused by a low thrust in the engine. Within the last few years, NASA has been working on the Artemis program, the modern sister to the Apollo program, meant to bring humans back to the moon. There are many differences between Artemis and Apollo for safety, logistics, and cost. The biggest difference is the use of a space station around the moon known as Gateway to eliminate the need for a new command module and lunar lander to be launched for every mission. After humans are launched from Earth, they will travel to the moon and dock with the Gateway around the moon. Waiting at Gateway will be a lunar lander. Over the last year, 3 companies have been developing a lunar lander that will act as a shuttle between the surface of the moon and Gateway. On April 16, 2021, NASA selected SpaceX's Starship to receive a $2.89 billion contract to continue the development of a lunar lander variant of Starship. Although NASA's goal of humans on the moon again by 2024 may not be met, it is clear that we will return to the moon once again. No matter the issues we face on Earth, the moon is only 238,000 miles away, shining as a beacon of hope.